Aloha, friends and neighbors. Welcome to program 529 of Astrology, Ancient Science in the Modern World. I'm your host, Kona astrologer Rollin, still kicking. I'm still working on some of those half-price specials I gave you at the end of the year. I'm going to have to make the time period a little smaller next year. Thank you anyway. I'm happy to serve you. We're going to cover the last week in January 2007 in poor Rollin's almanac. We'll get to the sky mirror and do some details on it. And I want to do that right away because I want to get to the USA chart. I realized, that I did some real strong work and I know the birth time of the US. So I got a trustworthy chart, which means I ought to be able to really predict from this chart. So I'm going to start doing that, just like Uncle Sam was a real person whose birth time I had rectified and proven out with a large accident. That's the way you do it with people's charts. If they don't quite know the time, you get as close as you can, and then you move the chart around, and pretty soon you find that, oh, bang, that's where he broke his leg, and he was in the hospital for 4 weeks. So that's what I did with 9/11, so I'm going to get after the USA chart. A couple of shows of it coming up for you. It'd be pretty interesting. For now, I want to just give you one small piece of learning from an old astrologer. Lots of times I'm asked about, like, I tend to put Chiron in the charts now. Chiron is like Pluto. It's not quite a family member of our solar system. It's a Kuiper belt object, and there's 2 or 3 or 4 of them outside of Pluto. Of course, we also have asteroids. And I can tell you that Ceres and people that use the top largest 4 asteroids in charts, they have an effect. So if you so pretty soon, if you're using these Kuiper belt objects, Chiron and Pluto and 3 or 4 others, and you're also using 4 or 5 or more asteroids plus the 6, the 10 planets. You've got a lot of variables floating around. How do you make sense of it all? Okay, well, here's the basic thing. As above, so below. So below, as above. Okay? In your life, you have a family. Yes. And in the sky, there is a family. Father and mother. The sun and the moon. Okay? You also have sisters and brothers. Venus and Mars. And there are usually some other people around a family that are uncles or aunts. Might be Jupiter or Saturn. Now, all of these bodies are within your own nuclear family. They might live in the same house, and they're going to have large effects on you, so you're watching them all the time, see? Watching them all the time. Who is Uranus and Neptune now are actually part of our solar system, but those 2 characters are out far enough so you normally don't see them. You don't see them as much as you do. Well, they're kind of forces outside your house. Uranus might be the cable TV guy and the electrician and the guy who fixes cars and all the technical experts and wizards that keep your civilization going. And you may know several of those. Neptune is the doctor, priest, artist, musician, and he's not playing in your house. He doesn't doctor in your house. He doesn't come and preach in your home. No, but he is somebody who impacts you in your family quite regularly. Now, when you go to Pluto's way the hell out there. And there's a little tiny Kuiper belt object on this elongated orbit. It doesn't really belong to your nuclear family. No. When he shows up in your chart, suddenly a policeman gives you a ticket. Oh boy, or a robber comes in on you. Or, yeah, Pluto could be like that. Chiron, might be some old limping veteran who helps you with your bad knee that you met down at the Moose Club, and he'll only be in your life for a little bit and he'll go. Now, asteroids. When you're in a family, you go to the store and you see all these other people. You know what they are is they're like the stars. Yes, when you look around the earth, you see a million people. You look around the sky, you see a million stars. Well, if you're in the store and there's a pretty young gal next to you that talks about her fireplace and how hard it is to get logs, well, that's probably that asteroid that governs the fireplace. That lady, I forget her name. Starts with a V, I think. Anyway, you see, these are not people that are in your everyday existence. And when you're reading charts, okay, you don't want to go and read every little star, all those people in their cars driving along the roads. Who cares? They're there. There are stars and these things in the sky, and they are there in your worldly plane, but they're not parts of your family. So when you're reading a chart, you want to read the people, the planets that impact your life, the family members, mom and dad, sister, brother, baby, kid, Mercury, you know, dogs and cats and stuff. And those are the planets that the ancients used. Of course, they didn't use Uranus and Neptune because they couldn't see them. And now you can. Anyway, what I'm talking about is an approach in your studies of astrology to how many variables you're going to use on a chart. Now, the Hindus don't use Uranus and Neptune. No, all the Vedic astrology, there's no Uranus and Neptune there, which I argue with because they're clearly part of the family. But they're not because you can't see them visually. So in a way, they're right to study just that family of planets like the Babylonians and your immediate family. But now and then, you know, Pluto does come in on you and the policeman tows your car. And these other bodies, Vesta, that's the fireplace lady, you may go to a barbecue and have a great Vesta day, and she was there in your life for a day or two. So, but in your studies, you keep it narrowed down to the family of planets. Sun and moon, mom and dad. Mercury, the kid, the dogs, the cats. Venus and Mars, sister and brother. Jupiter and Saturn, aunt and uncle. And finally, Uranus and Neptune, those people that bring in enlightenment from outside your community, in a way. Those are the main guys you want to study. You get all hung up on those asteroids. Gee, there's a lot of them. Gee, there's a lot of people in the shopping center.